Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Smithville Fiber Internet, streaming TV, home security and automation in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Maller Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. LawMG.com. IU Alumni Association, connecting IU's network of alumni and sharing the Indiana spirit through scholarships, advocacy, and volunteerism. Alumni.iu.edu. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. Rural.indiana.edu. And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk. Passing down the family farm can be much more complicated than just using a simple will, so the need for having a succession plan is important.
If it's all in one person's name, whatever, and then something happens to that person, then there's a scramble to try to get everything covered.
The state defines family farms as those in the same family for 100 years. The Knox County High-Tech Crime Unit has a new asset in its arsenal, Bogey, a former comfort dog that can sniff out electronics.
The dog hit on it and they were like, we've looked there, and he was like, well, look again because something's there.
The crime unit serves 13 counties in the state. And Martinsville is getting close to opening an opioid treatment facility that can treat 500 people at a time. We'll have these stories plus the latest news from across the state right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. The U.S. Department of Transportation approved Indiana's plan for electric vehicle chargers in the state, despite concerns about equity. But as Indiana Public Broadcasting's Rebecca Thiel reports, members of a state equity alliance say they're disappointed but not discouraged.
The announcement came just one day after communities in Gary and Indianapolis met with the DOT. They worry the state's current plan might not benefit Black and brown neighborhoods, businesses, or workers. Barbara Bowling-Williams is the president of the Indiana NAACP, which is part of the Indiana Alliance for Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion for Electric Vehicle Infrastructure and Economic Opportunities. She says she's hopeful that the Alliance's recommendations will be implemented.
Not only will the Alliance continue to watch what they do, but that the federal government, too, is watching exactly what they do.
Scott Manning is the Deputy Chief of Staff with the Indiana Department of Transportation. He says Indiana's plan will be updated and resubmitted to the federal government annually, and that the Alliance and other stakeholders' thoughts will likely factor into those updates. But Manning says DOT's approval speaks to the work INDOT has done so far.
Those charging stations and the benefits really touch every region of the state. So I think we have a plan and locations that are well thought out, that speak to what's been required of us.
Though this first award is for $36 million, Indiana is expected to receive a total of $100 million over the next 5 years. It's not clear if failing to address equity concerns could jeopardize future awards.
We're now joined by Indiana Public Broadcasting's Environment and Energy Issues reporter Rebecca Thiel for more on this story. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So the Biden administration has made environmental justice a big issue. Is this kind of what precipitated this initiative?
That's right. Biden's Justice 40 initiative says that basically 40% of the benefits from climate-friendly improvements like EV chargers have to go to disadvantaged communities. So groups like the Alliance want the government to put its money where its mouth is.
So how do they define a disadvantaged community?
That's the problem.
Yeah.
The federal government left that pretty vague, so it's really up to the states to interpret it how they see fit. So that can mean Black, Indigenous, people of color, those communities. That can mean low-income communities. That can mean folks who have less access to transit, like rural areas. So there wasn't a lot of leeway there. But it's important to point out that people of color have suffered some of the most harm from pollution from cars. So the Alliance really wants to see those folks get those benefits.
So that, this money is for creating a nationwide network of these EV chargers so that people feel safe going out. I mean, you don't want to be stranded, right?
Right.
But this would also affect the route these people will take too, depending on where these EV chargers are.
Right, so you would want to see those along interstates. If you go from New York to California, you're going to take those major roadways. So that's really important that that's where those are placed. Right now, we have a rough idea from NDOT of where those chargers will be, but not specific locations. We don't know if those are going to be at gas stations, restaurants, shopping centers, and that's really what's going to matter to people like the Alliance and folks like those gas stations that want to see these EV chargers on their property. I will mention that there is another funding program coming out from DOT for community chargers, so chargers in neighborhoods, but that's not as much money as this program, and we don't know what the requirements will be like. So we'll really have to see if groups like the Alliance will be happy with those funding programs as well.
So can all electric cars use these chargers?
They should be able to, except for possibly Tesla. And also you have to be able to DC fast charge your car anyway. But if you can, then you should be good to go.
All right, thanks. We're out of time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
A ribbon-cutting ceremony marks the completion of Pinnacle's Treatment Center's new opioid treatment facility in Martinsville. Clayton Baumgarth has this story.
The center is the final phase for the RecoverWorks campus that opened earlier this year. It provides all levels of care for patients in need of assistance and recovering from substance abuse, ranging from psychiatric stabilization to partial hospitalization programming. Pinnacle Treatment Center's CEO Joe Pritchard says it could be just the beginning in getting more treatment options available to Hoosiers.
The goal is to take what we're doing here and figure out where else in the state we could duplicate this campus, and there are discussions around how we can do that.
The center is expected to treat at least 500 individuals on a regular basis. Executive Director of Stability First, Rick Miller, says the center is going to make a noticeable impact for those in need.
You're not going to solve it all, but you can sure put a dent in it, and you can change the trajectory of individual lives and families, and that changes the community, and that's what we're really excited about.
Pinnacle also plans to build a 32-bed detox unit at IU Health Morgan, just down the road from RecoverWorks. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Clayton Baumgarth.
Administrators expect the treatment center to open late next month, pending approval from regulators. Well, we're joined now by Holden Absher for the latest headlines from around the state. Hello, Holden.
Hello, Joe. Since Indiana's abortion ban was blocked September 19th, the state's clinics are allowed to provide the procedure again. And the shifting legal landscape has been confusing to navigate for people seeking abortions as well as abortion providers. Jessica Marchbank of All Options Pregnancy Resource Center says the day after the ruling, no one had reached out to her office for help.
That was really, well, it was depressing, and it made me wonder if enough people in Indiana knew that they could still contact us for help.
Indiana's Court of Appeals this week rejected State Attorney General Todd Rokita's request for an expedited response to the temporary ban, and that would have sent the case directly to the Indiana Supreme Court. IU President Pamela Whitten's first State of the University address mainly focused on the recently announced 2030 strategic plan. The goal is to transition student success, research, and service over the course of 7 years. The plan's framework includes expanding externally funded research to $700 million annually.
Now is the time to dream, to think big, and to imagine the university we want IU to become. The framework we've established with its ambitious goals reflects our determination to occupy the highest tier in American higher education.
Whitten also addressed the ongoing issues with IU's graduate student workers who have been demanding union recognition. She says the university has increased stipends for grad workers, moved to reduce and eliminate fees, and created a graduate student advisory committee.
We know there is more work to be done, and we're committed to working together to provide the best possible student experience for our graduate students.
In part because of the concessions by the university, the Indiana Graduate Workers Coalition voted against resuming its strike from the spring. The union did vote yes on allowing it to set a future strike date if negotiations with the university break down, since one of its main demands, union recognition, has still been denied by IU.
Part of the recommendation was that, right, this is an opportunity to engage in good faith negotiations, to see if the university actually is being forthright when it says it wants to work constructively on these problems.
About 30 Purdue graduate workers and faculty rallied this week to show support for IU's grad workers. A jury found that Purdue University violated due process and treated a student differently because she was a woman after she came forward with assault allegations against a fraternity member. The initial complaint argued Purdue had a policy that if women could not prove their claims to the satisfaction of university decision makers, they faced discipline or expulsion. The jury found that the conduct of Purdue's Dean of Students and Vice President for Ethics and Compliance was malicious or in reckless disregard of the woman's rights. As part of the judgment, Purdue will pay $10,000. Spurred by skyrocketing national rent and investors buying up properties, families and tenants in Columbus are struggling to find safe, quality, and affordable housing. As Clayton Baumgarth reports, about 60 community members, including 3 council members, gathered for a town hall meeting to share stories and find solutions.
A full-time minimum wage worker would have to work 101 hours a week to afford a 2-bedroom unit at $950 a month in Columbus. Hoosier Action leader Jennifer Wells says that puts the town above Washington, D.C., Portland, and L.A. County to afford the same unit.
I just think it was a great opportunity that after talking to literally hundreds of people over the last 2 summers that we came together as a voice. Showing power that we are people that are concerned and worried for our future.
Event organizer for Hoosier Action, Stephanie Zhang, says that part of the problem is that tenants don't know their rights. Also, out-of-state investors are buying many area properties and turning them into rentals.
It's like jacking up prices of rent. It's pushing out first-time home buyers and fueling the rent crisis.
The town hall action items include getting information to tenants about their rights and responsibilities and forming a landlord database so tenants can learn more about them. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Clayton Baumgarth.
Birds flying into buildings are a primary cause of bird mortality, and the Lights Out National Organization works with building managers and cities to prevent bird deaths. Currently, the team monitors 26 buildings on IU's campus and has found 256 dead birds so far.
Something as simple as closing your blinds or turning off exterior lighting can prevent bird deaths. And if one household does it, great. If many households do that, even better.
The group wants to make IU a bird-friendly campus by figuring out what buildings are the most dangerous so they can apply solutions. The Northern Indiana utility NIPSCO wants to raise rates by about $19 a month for the average user. The utility says the increase will primarily go to pay for solar and wind resources as it transitions away from coal. But NIPSCO officials say that the transition has been slower than the utility had hoped due to supply chain issues with solar.
Unfortunately, what we're going to see for a while is customers paying for the old while they continue to pay for the new. Sort of these pancaking increases, if you will.
That is all the time we have for headlines this week. Back to you, Joe.
All right, thanks, Holden. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk.
Succession planning has become critical in passing down the family farm to future generations. And the newest tool in the Knox County high-tech crime unit's arsenal has fur and quite the nose on him.
These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
Public television's mission is to create a more informed and engaged public with inspiring programs, compelling stories, and trustworthy news. And we can't do it without a team of professional journalists, media specialists, engineers, and administrators making it happen both on the air and behind the scenes. Want to work for WTIU? Find the latest job postings on our website. Details at WTIU.org/jobs.
Life is full of choices, and right now your favorite member benefit, Passport, is offering more choices for you to stream.
Welcome to the club.
It's a beautiful thing. With cooking.
I gotta let it cook, but I keep wanting to smell it.
Travel.
And here we are.
Documentaries.
I realized I could change the world.
And so much more. The choice is yours with Passport on the PBS Video app.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. The Knox County High-Tech Crime Fighting Unit has many assets in its arsenal, but its newest one has fur and a feisty attitude. Sydney Brown of Vincennes PBS has this story on Bogey, the newest member of the team.
There is a new canine officer in Vincennes hoping to serve the community. Bogey and his handler Karen O'Connor are a team and the newest asset to the High-Tech Crime Unit. The facility in Vincennes serves 13 counties and is just one of 10 statewide. Knox County prosecutor Dirk Carnahan helped with the creation of the unit.
So we had a paralegal opening in the office, and I hired somebody with the sole purpose in mind of starting a unit like this. We were able to get a grant and get started and kind of hit the ground and do some preliminary things. And then the state of Indiana picked up on the same idea and decided to expand on that. The legislature thought it was a great idea, instead of throwing more money at the state police lab, to actually spread that around and open some regional hubs. So there's a pretty fierce competition for that.
Knox County's hub serves over 500,000 people. Its sole purpose is to find and analyze electronic data to help build a case for law enforcement.
Our focus is on just that, solving crimes, making people safer. And also, one thing that people don't realize is that this technology is great for protecting people from being wrongly accused and protecting innocent people.
Karen O'Connor is the current director of the High-Tech Crime Unit and first got involved while attending Vincennes University. Since heading up the unit, O'Connor has brought on a canine officer. Canine Officer Bogey joined the unit this summer and was trained in Indianapolis by Todd Jordan of Jordan Detection Canine.
The dogs that he trains are primarily labs. He's done a couple of other breeds, but they just tend to work the best. And all of his dogs are comfort dog dropouts. Bogey went through to be a comfort dog, and obviously is too mouthy for that. So he then went into police work.
Certified electronic detection dogs must train every day and are rewarded by food. Bogey has been taught to detect TPPO, a chemical found on electronics to prevent them from overheating. His skills in the field will help with the identification and recovery of flash drives, cellular devices, and computers, all of which can be farmed for data. A canine like Bogey was famously used in the case against Subway spokesperson Jared Fogle.
When they did the search warrant for him, they took Barron, who was Todd Jordan's first electronic dog, and he found a teeny tiny SD card that Jared would carry around with him because he traveled a lot for promotions. And they would have never found that. They actually searched that backpack numerous times before they even found it, and the dog hid on it, and they were like, we've looked there, and he was like, well, look again, because something's there. And it was in a hidden compartment. And so our officers are trained and they're excellent, but we're all human, and we make mistakes, and we miss things. And so to have an extra tool that is a little more keen on things and can pinpoint where things are really works out for us.
Primary focus will be in electronic detection. O'Connor hopes to be able to use Bogey in other situations as well.
Kind of the great thing about him is because he's been through that training, we can still utilize him in the courtroom with cases and victims.
Bogey's friendly and affectionate ways will also provide some comfort for officers who deal with a lot of stress in their jobs.
So we didn't pick him out, he was just assigned to us, and so he's a pretty good fit for us. We're really happy with him, even if he is lippy.
While Bogey might have a little sass, he's exactly what law enforcement officers in Knox County need.
Passing a farm to the next generation is quite the undertaking and can be much more complicated than a simple will. Clayton Baumgarth has this report on the importance of succession planning on the farm.
Here at Seed Farms in Poseyville, Indiana, all you hear is the rustling of corn stalks in the breeze. For this family, it's a period of calm before harvest starts. Last year, the Siebes took on extra work, completing a complicated planning process for the future of the farm.
If it's all in one person's name, whatever, and then something happens to that person, then there's a scramble to try to get everything covered. And we don't want that. We wanted to have everything with transition, allow for the nephews to work their way into the farm.
The Siebes farm has been in the family for over 100 years. It was established in 1898 by Mark's great-great-grandmother. She handed it down to her son, who handed it to his son, and then eventually to Mark and Wayne's parents. Passing a farm to the next generation can be quite the undertaking, much more complicated than a simple will. The Siebes had to share detailed financial records, family history, and goals with a third-party business that specializes in succession planning.
It was a little scary, but we finally sat down, talked together. It's like, if we're going to do this, we need to let them in like they're part of the family. We need to be 100% honest with them. We basically need to tell them everything about us. I mean everything, so they can put together the best thing possible. So when they're done, it's like we can finally sleep better at night.
Succession planning is important to every business, but it isn't always done in rural areas. Carl Sieb, the on-paper manager of the farm, says it can be tough work for farmers on top of existing responsibilities.
I think for a lot of people I talk to, at least, the general assumption is, yeah, we need to do it, but we just haven't started.
Much is at stake if the planning isn't done. Owners may be left scrambling to find a buyer for all their assets if their kids don't want to be involved in the farm. They might have to lease out the land to be worked by someone else, eating away at take-home income. The hurdle of starting a farm today is also a challenge.
You can't start from nothing in being in farming. It's too much of an investment. It's a high dollar to get started. When you've got a combine, it's $500,000, and that only does harvesting, period. You can't take it to town and take the family to church in. You can't do anything with that.
Specialized help is available. Art Littlefield and Dennis Hanks are estate planning specialists at Lincoln Financial Advisors. They focus solely on agribusiness services. They both covered the Siebes succession planning process. They say that the process looks straightforward on paper, but rarely turns out that way. Farms are typically family-owned businesses, and anyone in a family knows that can bring disagreement.
Tends to be a lot of conflict, lack of communication in families that, as a result, cause the succession planning to be difficult.
Even a smoother sailing deal is time-consuming, and every hour spent working on this is an hour spent not working on the farm. That can be especially harmful to smaller farms that may not have the workforce needed to handle everything simultaneously.
Many of the issues that we need to address include planting and harvest, that we only have a limited window that farm families will be available.
The price of this specialized service is determined by the size of the farm and whether complications arise during the process. The Siebes farm is one of many that make up a rich tapestry of family agricultural legacies throughout Indiana. The State Department of Agriculture recognizes farms that have been in one family for at least 100 years. These accolades, or Hoosier Homestead Awards, are a way for the state to underline the importance of family-run agriculture.
What I have found in Indiana is our farmers, they want to take care of the land. They want to do the right thing when it comes to things like conservation and making sure that land is available for somebody to have in the future.
For farmers that don't plan for succession, they can leave it to a family member, but how can they ensure it'll continue to be run?
There's also a component of, do we want to have somebody that manages the farm? Is that a family member? Is it somebody else? And the succession of how we make sure this is a continuing entity and a continuing farm, what does that look like?
For Kettler, this passing of the torch presents an opportunity to involve a younger generation in agriculture.
What I appreciate about current and younger generations is they tend to have a pretty entrepreneurial mindset. So sometimes they'll come back and say, okay, this farm, we used to raise crops, we used to raise livestock. I'm going to find a way to get them back involved in that business. I appreciate that some people want to continue to that kind of a lifestyle.
As one generation hands over the reins to another, growing pains will emerge.
I guess the biggest thing I can say is that change can be scary, but don't be afraid of it because it could possibly be a good thing.
So what convinced the nephews to go through all this trouble and continue working for the farm?
It's in your blood. I feel like more than anything, even the days you don't like doing it, you find a reason that you want to keep doing it. I think for me, more than anything, looking at the legacy that's already here and wanting to say that I've been able to help continue, it's important to me.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Clayton Baumgarth.
Family farms make up around 96% of the farms in Indiana, with the average farm size at 264 acres. Well, Indiana is looking to bounce back from its first loss of the season when it plays at Nebraska Saturday night. The Big Ten teams haven't met since 2019 when the Hoosiers won by a touchdown. The Cornhuskers have lost 3 of their first 4 games and fired head coach Scott Frost 3 weeks ago after a loss to Georgia Southern.
But at the same time, you know, they're at home. They play really good at home, and that's been their history in the past, and that's they got a lot of pride in that program.
Indiana is 3-1 this season. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer John Mellencamp will kick off his live and in-person 2023 tour with 2 shows at the IU Auditorium. The shows on February 5th and 6th will be the first of a 76-show tour for the Seymour native. The tour coincides with the upcoming reissue of Mellencamp's Scarecrow album. And that's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Smithville Fiber Internet, streaming TV, home security and automation in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Mallard Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. LawMG.com. IU Alumni Association, connecting IU's network of alumni and sharing the Indiana spirit through scholarships, advocacy, and volunteerism. Alumni.iu.edu. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. Rural.indiana.edu. And by WTIU members. Thank you.